how to stop the obesity crisis and hold food companies to account. This is what we will talk about today. I'm here with Svet from ShareAction, and we'll discuss the role that investors play in this. So to start us off, Svet, can you talk to us about why should investors care about the public health impact of global food companies or supermarkets?
Unhealthy food and drink is cheap, convenient, and heavily advertised. In England, 64,000 people die every year from unhealthy diets. The food sector plays a key role in driving this crisis, and investors who own and fund these companies have the power and the responsibility to change that. Supermarkets could cut obesity by 20% if they sold healthier products in Britain. That just illustrates how much power they have. But it's not just about protecting public health. There's also a really strong business case for companies to take action. Firstly, that's because consumers want healthier food, and there's no sign of that going away anytime soon. Secondly, regulations on unhealthy food are tightening. In the UK, we've seen sugar taxes and advertising restrictions come into force, and more regulation is on the horizon. What companies should be doing is showing investors a clear plan that they have to adapt for a future where healthier food is becoming the norm. This is important for investors who want reassurance that these companies are doing the financially prudent and the ethical thing.
What is the benefit for investors to engage with food companies in a collaborative fashion rather than going bilaterally directly to companies?
When one investor asks a company to change, it's easy to ignore. When a group of investors with billions of savings get together, it's hard for a company to overlook. When investors work together, it turns that individual pressure into collective momentum that is really hard to ignore. We know this model has a lot of impact. We've seen Tesco, Nestle, and Unilever change their practice as a result of investors working together through initiatives like Healthy Markets. When these companies change, the system can change. And this is why investors at EQ and their clients have a key opportunity to help rebuild a food system and shape healthier lives. Louisiana, what are the changes that you've seen with respect to unhealthy food companies in past years?
Yeah, so as investors, we obviously watch the kinds of companies within the portfolios quite closely. What we've seen is that through the US administration coming in, not many sustainable themes have been supported that we usually engage on. However, the US administration has actually shown a light on processed foods and the negative impact that that can have. So that's a positive surprise for us, I guess. On the financials, what we've seen in the last couple of years is that the impacts of the obesity drugs that are more widely available now have started to hurt unhealthy food and beverage companies. Sales margins, as well as consumer trends against processed food towards more healthy options, have really started to squeeze those earnings of unhealthy food companies. And that's a great show of the financial risk that we've been warning these companies about for many years coming into play, so materially affecting those companies, and we're starting to see that really on the bottom line. It just shows that this is a financially material topic that we need to continue to engage with, like, for example, through the work that ShareAction's Healthy Markets Initiative allows us to do. So Svet, what is your view on how can investors help cut obesity?
Great question. Right now, companies design their own report cards on how healthy their products are, and they're marking themselves very well. That's like buying a car with no service history. You don't know what you're buying, and you can't compare companies to each other. That's not okay, and what companies should be doing is using recognized ways to measure product healthiness, because these models already exist. If companies are not using these models, investors should be asking why. But there's more to it than just being more transparent. This is also about companies selling healthier food over time and setting targets to show to investors that they're adapting with the times and protecting not just public health, but their bottom lines.
from ShareAction's perspective, what are the key things that EQ Investors or its client base can do in order to really make an impact on public health crisis?
You can use the power that you have in 3 ways. First, you can go to annual general meetings of companies and ask questions to food companies about what they're doing to promote public health and protect investors' portfolios. Second, you can ask the asset managers running your pension and your ISAs what they're doing to promote public health, and they can join collaborative initiatives like Healthy Markets, where investors get together to reshape the broken food system and promote healthier, longer lives.
Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope our audience learned a lot about how investors like EQ Investors and our clients can benefit from real strong engagement on public health and the food system that we're faced with. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Louisiana.